Leclerc on Ferrari's exit doors. The drama between Formula One driver Charles Leclerc and his team Ferrari refuses to die down. On the contrary, things appear to be heating up to the point where they are about to erupt like Mount Vesuvius, as rumours that Mercedes and Leclerc are in negotiations for 2024 and beyond have just appeared. The likelihood of us seeing a significant shakeup in the drivers' lineup has increased dramatically, with Hamilton not yet renewing his contract with the Silver Arrows, and the recent assessment regarding Leclerc's future at Ferrari. Come with us as we delve into the Leclerc-Ferrari controversy and try to figure out if the Monaco driver will end up joining the Brackley-based squad. In 2023, Leclerc had one of Ferrari's worst declines in performance, being a part of the worst start Ferrari has had in years, going from a title contender early in 2022 to a driver with only 6 points from 3 events. After 3 full races in 2023, Ferrari has yet to lead a single lap, demonstrating that there is a great deal of need for improvement inside the team, as this is the poorest start for the team since the point system was restructured in 2010. The question now is whether Leclerc will want to participate in any potential future projects in Maranello. We couldn't help but wonder if Leclerc's time with Ferrari was over after hearing him say that he would only be expected to finish races rather than compete for victories. In the future, Vasseur, his former team principal at Alfa Romeo, was recruited in to replace Mattia Binotto, and he was the driving force behind the recent alterations, and the F1 experts who said the problem lay not with the team principal but with the team's whole concept were mocked. And would you look at that? 3 races into 2023, who is laughing now? Since the review of Sainz's penalty did not result in the restoration of his P4 finish, Ferrari is unlikely to compete with the level of motivation befitting a championship contender in the following Grand Prix. We don't think Leclerc will be able to overcome the humiliation he's suffered through the first 3 races in 2023, and the fact that he was unable to race at full capacity in the most recent race due to the lap 1 crash with Stroll, despite Vasseur's belief that he has all the motivation necessary to win a race in 2023. Sainz, on the other hand, has been producing more reliable performances, and while he is the slower driver when pitted against Leclerc in a head-to-head competition, his maturity and composure may earn him the number 1 spot on the team. Remember that in 2021, he outperformed Leclerc, and if Leclerc keeps up this dismal form, that could very well be the case again in 2023. Joan, Villadelprat, a former F1 management stalwart, thinks Sainz's qualities outweigh those of his Monegasque teammate, with the Spaniard leading by 20 points, and despite his initial difficulty accepting life at Ferrari, that isn't a major factor in his future with the Maranello team. Sainz has dismissed speculations that he will leave Ferrari for Audi in 2026, saying instead that Maranello is his home and that he intends to make things work there. He hopes to become the first driver since Kimi in 2007 to win the championship with Ferrari. When talking about the comparison between Sainz and Leclerc, Villadelprat went on to say, "I see that Sainz is pushing from the beginning. The story of adapting to the car is no longer valid, so he has to keep it up. Because Leclerc is coming back and very strong. He has a great innate speed, more than Carlos, who has to work on it more, so he has to push and take maximum points and stay there. Because at Ferrari, the balance changes weight immediately. Now he is in front, but if Leclerc gets in front, his weight, even today, is more than Carlos in Ferrari. He is more considered than Carlos today, and the first mission is to make Carlos more considered than Leclerc." Villadelprat continued, saying that Leclerc has been sold the story that he is Ferrari's top driver, therefore the sight of his teammate Sainz ahead of him makes him feel sick to his stomach. We wouldn't disagree, but there will come a day when it's too late to turn back, and Sainz might have a new teammate in 2024, whether he likes it or not. Mercedes has discussed the possibility of the Monegasque driver taking over the team's number 1 position in 2024 if they are unable to improve the W14's performance. You can say what you want about Leclerc, but he's a brilliant driver who may be lacking confidence in either himself or the vehicle because of its inability to win races and be competitive on a consistent basis. There is a lot of room for speculation as to whether the Silver Arrows will be willing to let go of their strongest asset, Lewis Hamilton, and join forces with one of the most talented drivers on the grid, given how Mercedes has been notching serious improvements in pace in 2023 without any major upgrades. Dr. Helmut Marko has also brought up this possibility, saying that while it would be illogical for Ferrari to escape from their contract with Sainz, Leclerc is the driver most likely to be on the move soon. An Italian Formula One expert named Leo Tarini recently tweeted that conversations between Leclerc and Mercedes about a possible cooperation are an open secret. Everyone knows about it, including in Maranello. Leclerc understands that time is ticking, and if Lewis Hamilton decides to leave, then Mercedes will want to get a champion-level driver to partner with George Russell. Marko thinks that a performance clause would also be implemented in a deal like the one Leclerc has with Ferrari, despite the fact that Leclerc is still under contract for the full 2024 season. This means that the driver's contract will be automatically reviewed if he reaches a certain point in the season with a certain number of points. And based on what we've seen so far from Leclerc, we definitely don't see him reaching that contract unless something drastically changes in the near future. Gazzetta dello Sport reports that Ferrari will send an improvement package to the next race in Baku, but despite this, it would be a very unlikely scenario if Ferrari managed to do something big there. Although the package would not be huge, the newspaper predicts that Ferrari will finish third, behind Aston Martin and Mercedes, and well behind Red Bull, which is sure to further infuriate the company's drivers and fans. But in this case, what would happen to Hamilton? Although Hamilton's childhood hero Senna chose a career driving for Ferrari, they might not be in the greatest position right now to deliver Hamilton what he has been eager for, the 8th title. Tarini claims that Hamilton and the Scuderia did not have any prior business contact. What would Hamilton, do if he realized that he could no longer win with the Silver Arrows? I do not know. On the other hand, I know that Hamilton has never been close to the Reds. There was never a negotiation. Never. It's true that John Elkann, who became president after Marchionne's death, asked for information on Hamilton's contract. We were in 2019, Vettel was almost at the end of his credits, but Lewis, having won titles in a flurry running alone, was not in the least interested in the prospect. Today, 2023, but with the contracts in force in Maranello, we are talking about 2025, the media hit would be sensational, but Ferrari needs much more than a marketing operation. Having all this in mind, we feel compelled to bring out what is already very obvious. Mercedes' technical department is leading the team to great strides forward with the return of James Allison, a driving force during the team's glory days, and it appears like they will be a force to be reckoned with during the rest of the season. With Allison at the helm, Mercedes should become more competitive as the season progresses, and the team should be able to keep Hamilton at the team for at least another year or two, thanks to an improved and more competitive W14. Although Red Bull doesn't seem to be a match for drivers like Leclerc or Hamilton, we shouldn't forget about Aston Martin, the team in green. Fernando Alonso recently expressed his desire to race alongside Hamilton before retiring, but the question remains whether Lance Stroll, whose father chairs Aston Martin, will make way for one of the most experienced drivers on the grid. It's difficult to make predictions based on only 3 races this season, so we should mostly ignore these rumors. However, it's evident that Leclerc and Hamilton are not content with their respective teams, and Ferrari and Mercedes are making significant changes to address their concerns. Ultimately, it's too early to say what will happen. What do you think? Is Leclerc happy in Ferrari, or will he leave the team in search for a better team? Let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below, and we will see you next time.